What did you want to accomplish when you first started self-advocacy?
When I first started self-advocacy, I wanted to accomplish that people with intellectual disabilities would be able to have a place where they could organize and talk with each other and support each other. Because in the state of Illinois, we really didn't have any organizations there that we could get together and start talking about things that were important to us.
Okay. Why did you get into the self-advocacy movement?
When I was in People First of Illinois, we went to see, when we first started our group, to see People First in Nebraska and Canada come to talk to us in our state about the self-advocacy movement. And we didn't care too much about what things were all about. What we cared about was that they had really cool t-shirts and jackets, and we wanted their stuff, so we joined the group.
What was your passion in the beginning?
My passion in the beginning for self-advocacy was to make sure that people were able to speak up for what they wanted and to be able to talk about their dreams and the goals that they thought were important to them.
How did you organize in the beginning?
In the beginning, when we were organizing, we had a lot of meetings, small meetings. We did some team building workshops together. We talked about what was important to us, why we thought it was important to have a group. We came up with some mission statements, some goals, and then we started learning from each other.
How did you work with other movements in the beginning?
We worked with other movements, other self-advocacy groups by going to conferences and actually going to other DD conferences, learning about what they were doing around self-advocacy, and then looking at our goals and seeing what they were doing and what we were doing and seeing how we can work together as a group.
Okay. How did you keep the movement going and people excited about being a part of it?
I think it's really important is to keep the movement going by celebrating your accomplishments. Not all the time people celebrate their accomplishments, so then when people are working and working so hard that they kind of forget to celebrate what they have already accomplished, and that kind of gets people burned out. But when you celebrate your accomplishments and you look about all the things that you have done, it gets people motivated to keep going and keep the pressure on what you're doing, and helps them really advocate for more issues.
Okay. How did you get people to organize together to fight for the same issues?
We also put out different kinds of alerts out there, and we wrote different kinds of alerts talking about issues that were important to us. And we went to different conferences and talked about why we were advocating for a certain issue. So a lot of letters, emails, different alerts about what we wanted people to do, make phone calls, do trainings, do rallies, different things like that. We gave people a variety of different things that they could choose from so that they can advocate for the same things.
Okay. How do you keep people motivated and enthusiastic over time?
I think there's a couple ways that you do that. I think, again, you celebrate your accomplishments to keep people motivated and keep going. I also think that there's other ways that you can do that by having people do different trainings. Icebreakers always help. Different things in groups that you could get people to do. A lot of team building and looking for new ways to keep people excited about the movement. So maybe trying something that you've never done before and having people learn new experiences, and also giving them an opportunity to advance their leadership skills. I think that's really important for people to try new things and advance their leadership skills, because that keeps them really excited because they're not doing the same thing over and over again. So if you help them get them challenged and give them challenges, they'll be more motivated and excited when they do accomplish something, and to keep them going.
Okay. How do you want the community to know who you are and what you stand for?
Well, there's a lot of things that we do in the community, so maybe it's not just by our self-advocacy work, but by volunteering. That helps the community know that we want to give back. An example of that is that during the holidays, sometimes we have these food drives. So our self-advocacy group would go to the church and help people deliver food to people who couldn't get food for Thanksgiving or Christmas or Easter, some of the things like that. And the members who drove, they drove us around and we'd deliver food, and that we would be giving back to our community. And another thing that we did was during Christmas, there was an institution that we went to that had young children, and we talked about why it was important to close the institution, that no children should be there. But we also brought gifts to the children at Christmas time who may not have that opportunity to get a Christmas present from anywhere else.
What would you like self-advocacy to look like in the future?
In the future, I hope there wouldn't be any self-advocacy around, because I think that if there was no self-advocacy around, that there would be a world of everybody being accepted for who they are. And then you wouldn't have to do all those things, because it would be a perfect world then, and people would be able to be known as their name, not as a label.
Is there anything else you want to tell us?
I hope that in the future, people with disabilities will be able to speak up for what they want, have their dreams and goals accomplished, and be able to do everything else that anybody else does.